Book of Proverbs is my favorite book in the Old Testament. Number one, because it's easy to memorize. But it's these little short snacks, of truth. And they're not great, big, huge things. But the purpose of Proverbs is to give wisdom, all right? And wisdom is the skill to live life properly. Wisdom doesn't mean you're no brainiac. That's not what the word wisdom means. As a matter of fact, in Hebrew culture, wisdom was considered the skill to do things correctly. For instance, if you were a seamstress and you did that well, that was an evidence of God's wisdom. If you were a musician and you did that well, that was a sign of God's wisdom. If you were a metal worker or a woodworker or a carpenter or whatever you did, if you did it well, then apparently God gave you the wisdom to do that. And so it wasn't the Plato and all that kind of that kind of a brilliance. And so to live life, all right, it takes a skill, right, to live life properly. And the book of Proverbs, chapter 1, verse number 2, to know wisdom, that's the purpose of the book, is to know wisdom. And the word wisdom means skill. And instruction, that word means discipline. And so the book of Proverbs was written to give us skill and discipline. In order to be skilled, you need to be disciplined. And there are some things that you need to do on a regular basis. Cale is a pretty good gymnast, and you didn't get that way naturally. It's taken a lot of work, a lot of discipline. I'm sure there have been times when you wanted to do other stuff, but you had to practice. And so you made a decision. No, I'm going to do this. And so she would be, in Hebrew culture, this would be a wise young lady. She's wise in the way of gymnastics. And so we've looked at a couple of guys in the book, and we're going to look at the final one here in the last. I think we can finish this up tonight. But the question that Proverbs poses to me is, in this season of life, according to and in light of my past experiences, my current circumstances, and my future hopes and dreams, what's the wise thing to do? Now, it may be different next year, but right now, in this season, because I'm convinced that the decisions that I need to make today might not be the same decision that I need to make next year. Now, about being saved, and I know there are eternal decisions, things that will never change, but life is static, And so you might need to make a wise decision, A, in this season of life, and maybe in the next season of life, you're going to need to make a completely different decision. But that's wisdom to know what season of life you're in. And so we looked at the simple, just the kid that doesn't know anything. He has no experience in life. They're naive. What's the cure for that? Time. Just let them grow up. We were all that way at one point. We were all 10, 11, 12. We all made decisions that you look back on now and you go, I don't know what I was thinking. Well, I know what we were thinking. We were kids. And did you ever make any foolish food choices as a kid? I did. Eat the wrong stuff right before dinner, or but you grow up, and that's the cure for the fool, or the simple. And then there's the fool. Now this is the guy. See, the simple doesn't know the right thing to do. They're naive. They're clueless about life. They don't have any experience yet. This guy, the cure for the fool now is something completely different. Now the fool is the guy that says, I know what to do, I'm just not going to do it. I know what the right thing is, I'm not going to do that. I know what I ought to say, I'm not going to do it. I know I ought to ask forgiveness, I'm not going to do it. I know I need to be kind, I'm not going to do it. That's the fool. Now what's the cure for the fool? And we were hammering on this up at Caring People Ministry. I said, some of you have made foolish decisions over and over. That's why you're here. You got addicted to some things, and you just go back to it. And I read the verse about, as the dog returns to his vomit, so a fool returns to his folly. And I said, we've all made foolish decisions over and over, and we're not terribly creative when it comes to doing the wrong thing. We usually do the same wrong thing over and over and over. And so we get blisters in the same spot all the time. And they all agreed. That's exactly right. That's why we're here. And, well, what's the cure for that? The cure for the fool is tragedy.